Hi everyone, my name is Lind Aryela and this is my transformation story. So growing up, I used to be really insecure about my smile, so I barely smiled. I was always frowning and it was so bad that I almost got a unibrow. Yeah, that bad. And it wasn't because somebody told me that maybe you don't have a nice smile or something, but all my friends, well, none of them really had the gap in their teeth, and they were kind of like my standard. And so looking at them, I always felt that I was too different and they looked nice and I didn't. I always felt I was too tall, too this, too that. I was always finding more and more things about myself that were imperfect, and it gave me more reason not to like my physical self. And that ended up affecting my self-esteem so much. It got to a point I really used to value people's opinions, and I would take people's opinions about me over my own opinions about me. I was a people pleaser in a certain sense, and it took many years, and the only person that could have changed that entire narrative was Jesus, and he did. When I went to high school, I grew up knowing God. I mean, Christian home, always going to church and all, but that personal encounter with Jesus came when I was in high school. I used to always go for altar call, how many of us have, one for Jesus, and I would always go for it. And it was just one time there was a program in school, and I was about to go forward again, and I just heard a voice telling me, why don't you just stay in your seat and mature, stay in your seat. And I was like, oh, that's actually not a bad idea. So that was where I realized a certain increase in maturity. And it was a day-to-day thing. I began to realize Jesus personally, not some textbook Messiah, but a personal father, a personal friend, somebody that I treasured above everything. And he was with me in so many things. Through fellowship, I came to realize that I was perfect. I was everything I ever needed to be. And so I came to find ministry, or let me say ministry found me when I went to the university, and my life transformed completely. I became compelled to do certain things. I never would take initiative. The old me would never take initiative. I would always wait to be told to do something before I do it. But then I just found myself, I could just be seated and somebody's by me and I'm like, oh, this person doesn't know Jesus. Hi, let's talk. I want to tell you about Jesus. Do you know Jesus? Do you love him? Why don't you love him? I want you to love him like I love him even more. And finding ministry, or let me say ministry rather finding me, really enhanced my perception about Christ. That it's not just about Jesus in me, but it's about Jesus in everybody. It's about Jesus happening in everybody, everywhere. And it's been many years, about 4, 5, and the journey has been really, really interesting. Ministry has been an eye-opener for me. It's been so amazing because I look back at myself 6 years ago. Yes, I knew Jesus, but this person I have become and the person I see myself becoming, it's something I would have never... I mean, if you told me this when I was like 11, I would really wonder if you really knew what you were talking about, because this is a very timid, young lady, and you're about to tell her that she's supposed to go out into all the world preaching, unafraid, unashamed. I would have really ignored you and just walked past. But look at me now. I'm looking at myself. Sometimes I look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, oh, God, yeah, really, know a thing or two about, doing what you do. And honestly, I have received testimonies from people, from things I did both consciously and unconsciously, ministering to people. Okay, I wouldn't call it random ministrations, but ministering to people, and they come back and they say, God bless you, you've been such a blessing to me. And you realize they're not saying it out of formality, but when somebody is speaking to you out of the abundance of their heart, you can feel it. You can practically see it. And each time I see somebody and I talk to them, I want them to feel the way Jesus has made me feel. I want them to see the world the way Jesus has made me see the world. And it's colorful. Sometimes you are tempted to look at everything that's happening in the world right now. There's corona, there's death, there's sadness, it's dreary, it's really unappealing. But then when Jesus comes into the picture, the Jesus in you comes into the picture, you realize that it can be so much more. You realize that there's light in everything. And being in ministry has groomed me in a certain way to see things from the God perspective every day, all day. And my life has been an amazing testimony to me. And honestly, if I were younger, I would have wanted to meet me now to just, give me a few words of encouragement to let me know that, you can still do this. And my life has been amazing, and I really can't wait to see what lies ahead.